Have you ever gone on a trip with friends into the forest? It's nighttime. You're all sitting around the fire. But you keep feeling the weight of a gaze, a stare that seems to be drilling into you, as if something is searching your insides. It's cold, so cold it makes your skin crawl. You try to look into the darkness, searching with your eyes, but you see nothing. You tell yourself, am I just imagining things? But what if it isn't just imagination? In the northernmost island of Japan, there is a place called Hokkaido, and deep in the misty, silent forests of this island, there are places so strange that the locals have a name for them. Kami no Mori, the forests of spirits. In the heart of mountain ranges often covered in fog, the people speak of forests where the trees whisper and shadows seem alive. In these forests, there are no birds, no animals, no sound. It's as if life has stopped. And yet, something is there. Something you can't see, but you can feel it with every part of your being. For generations, the local people have warned their children, never enter these forests after sunset. They say that at night, restless spirits wander among the trees. Some of them are protectors of nature, but others are shadows that drain the life energy from anything alive. There are stories of strange lights appearing with no visible source, of travelers who stepped into the forest and vanished without a trace, of blood-curdling screams that seem to freeze the air itself. Many believe that in these places, the veil between our world and the hidden realms grows thin, and through that thin veil, unfamiliar minds, strange beings, peek into our reality. You might think it's all just folklore, but even science has taken notice. Magnetic anomalies, unidentified radiation, animals behaving in ways no one can explain. Among the locals, there are countless tales of glowing orbs floating between the trees, of sudden drops in temperature, and of voices carried on the wind, speaking languages no one has ever heard. Is it just illusion, or is there truly something else lurking in the shadows of this forest? This is only the beginning. Welcome to the world of Secrets of the Unseen World. Everything began on a weekend trip. 4 university students, worn out from months of classes and exams, decided to take a break, something different for a change. Their destination? The island of Hokkaido. Far from the noise of the city, surrounded by forests so stunning they looked more like postcards than reality. Towering trees, thick fog, and a silence that seemed to breathe life back into your soul. On the second night, one of them suggested they take a lesser-known trail. It led to a forest with an old, rusted sign at the entrance. The words were written in Japanese, romanized, "Watashi tachi wa anata o miteru." Translation, "We are watching you." They laughed it off. Probably just a creepy local prank, they thought. And so, they stepped in. A few minutes later, Takuya stopped. "Wait," he said. "Just listen for a second." They stood still. Yoshi laughed. "I don't hear anything." "That's the problem," Takuya replied quietly. "This kind of silence, it's not normal for a forest. Maybe we should go back. Maybe we shouldn't be here at all." But the others laughed it off and pulled him along. As the light faded, they found a small clearing with fewer trees and set up their single-person tents. They lit a fire and sat around it. Takuya kept glancing around, clearly uneasy, but said nothing. The others teased him, said he was acting mysterious tonight, but he stayed quiet. Eventually, they went to sleep, a deep, heavy sleep, like sinking into something cold and still. The next morning, as they packed up their gear, they noticed Takuya hadn't come out of his tent. They called his name. No answer. They opened the tent flap, and he was gone. Everything else was still there. His clothes, his phone, all of his belongings, untouched. Only he was missing. They searched the nearby area, calling for him, thinking maybe he had gone for a walk early in the morning. But hours passed. Noon came and went, still no sign. What worried them most was that Takuya never left his phone behind, yet this time it was sitting right there in the tent. After more hours of waiting and searching, they finally contacted the local police. Rescue teams arrived, tracking dogs, equipment. They searched the forest for days, but no one ever found him. No one ever found out what really happened to Takuya. After days of searching, and as time passed, everyone began to accept a grim truth. He must have met a tragic end. Maybe he'd fallen into a ravine or been attacked by wild animals. His friends returned to their lodging without him, and the news of his disappearance shook the university. Over time, hope faded, and Takuya became a distant memory. Until one day, exactly 11 years later, a group of tourists spotted something strange in a sparse section of this same forest. In the darkness, a pair of glowing eyes staring back at them. At first, they panicked. They turned to run, but then, around those glowing eyes, they could make out the outline of a human figure. Tall, still, watching. They had heard the legends about the forest. Terrified, they thought one of the forest spirits had come for them. But the figure moved closer, and what emerged was a man. Middle-aged, with a long beard, tangled hair, and ragged clothing. But what truly unsettled them was his gaze. It was sharp, unblinking. A strange, shining intensity, as if he could see through them, through their thoughts, through their souls. The man, dressed in rags and trembling, said nothing. Not in Japanese, not in any known language. As the flashlight beam swept over his body, they saw something else. Old scars, deep claw marks, and tattoos. Strange ancient symbols etched across his skin from head to toe. Symbols no one recognized. He would just sit there, staring into the fire with those strange glowing eyes, and occasionally trace incomprehensible symbols into the damp earth with his finger. They brought him back to their camp, cautiously, fearfully. The next morning, forest rescue teams and police arrived and took him into town. Everyone was desperate to know who he was. His condition wasn't critical, but he was silent, withdrawn, and severely underweight. Tests began. And later, when he was examined by doctors, the unthinkable was confirmed. And then, one of the doctors shouted in disbelief, "This is impossible. This is the young man who disappeared 11 years ago, Takuya Fujimoto." He was Takuya, the same student who had vanished 11 years earlier. His tongue had been removed. His body was covered in markings, tattoos written in a script not used for centuries. But he was alive. Changed beyond recognition, but alive. No one could believe it, but the DNA results, dental records, and even fingerprints all confirmed the same thing. It was him. And yet, that was only the beginning. Further examinations revealed something even more disturbing. His tongue had been surgically removed, as if someone, or something, had wanted to ensure he could never speak of what he'd seen. His body was covered in tattoos, etched in a script no one could identify at first. Later, experts confirmed that the writing matched ancient symbols once found only in long-lost Shinto shrine manuscripts, a sacred script not used in over 1,000 years. But the most chilling discovery was this. On the back of his neck was a symbol, a perfect circle with 3 dots in the center. It resembled eyes watching from the dark. It was the same symbol spoken of in local legends, said to mark those who have been touched by the spirits of Kami no Mori, forces that, once they enter you, never let go. Doctors also noted signs of extreme psychological trauma. They believed he was suffering from dissociative amnesia, a rare condition triggered by prolonged terror or mental shock. He didn't recognize anyone, not his parents, not his friends. He had no idea who he was. They tried giving him a pen and paper, hoping he might write something, a name, a memory, anything. But what he scribbled were meaningless shapes, lines, circles, chaotic symbols. Until once, among the madness, they found a single sentence, written in the same ancient script tattooed across his skin. "We are watching you."